illustrations for Traction Man Meets TurboDog I did them quite realistically, so things are drawn, I'm trying to make them look like you can really pick them up, and they were all painted on quite thick watercolour paper, so it's so thick that it doesn't really buckle, hopefully. I usually tape my paper down so it doesn't run away when I'm drawing on it, so I might do that today. I've got some tape, a bit of tape, because we don't want the paper escaping when we're trying to do an illustration. Okay, and when I was doing the illustrations, when I did the first book of Traction Man is Here, what I would do is I would have some ink and a pen, and I would draw a pen and ink drawing of how I wanted everything to be, like the outlines, and then I would just fill them all in with colour. But then I got bored of doing that because it just really looks the same after you've coloured in, it just looks coloured in. So I thought how to make the drawing more exciting and possibly dangerous. What I did for Traction Man Meets TurboDog is I did all the painting first and put the lines in at the end. So there's that opportunity to completely sort of mess it up with ink blobs right at the last moment. So I'm going to draw a little pencil drawing underneath. So that's his body shape, like quite sort of almost peanut shaped body. And then he's sort of flattish at the bottom. And he quite often has a kind of excited sort of mouth, going like that with sort of open mouth. But he's maybe looking quite determined today. So we'll have a go at the sort of determined expression. And a bit like characters that don't talk much, like Scrubbing Brush just says off. So a lot of his expression is with his eyes. And so I'm going to wonder what sort of eyes, determined eyes to go with a determined mouth. Kind of just maybe, he's looking a bit worried actually, looking up and maybe up to how high the summit of the compost heap is going to be up there. And the eyebrows can sort of tell you a lot about what some say, if eyebrows are down, it's an angry, frowning person. But I'm going to put up, sort of slightly worried. We've got a very worried looking Scrubbing Brush going on here. And then his bristles just like all go down, but they act a bit like legs. So he sort of has sort of a front set and a back set of bristles to sort of do his walking along. So there's his bristles there, and a little bit of whatever he's walking on there. And then his sandwich is going to be on his back. So all we need is a slice of bread, a bit of filling, another slice of bread, and a sort of triangle shaped top to the sandwich. And it's going to be tied on with a big red ribbon. So we'll bring the ribbon up here and put a bow at the top. So one part of the bow and the other part of the bow over here, and then some nice big ribbons coming down the side. There we are. So, I nearly forgot his tail, so better put a tail, determined looking tail out the back there. Okay, so now I'm going to decide that's his front bit. Okay. So now I'm going to put some shadows on this. So shadows make things look a bit more 3D. And this is a bottle of Quink, and it's quite exciting Quink because it's supposed to be writing ink, but it's made of different it's got different colours in it. So when it comes out, it kind of looks bluey black really. But if I kind of make it different waterinesses, then it sort of lets out lots of different kind of blue tones, but also there's sort of brown things in there as well. So it's sort of, you can make all sorts of exciting different shades with the Quink, and it's quite exciting if you spray it. You can kind of get there we go. You can sort of weird patterns start to come out in it as well. So if you only had one paint and you wanted to take to a desert island, then Quink ink might be quite a good thing to take. So I've diluted some Quink to use as some shadows on scrubbing brush over here, and I need a medium. I don't know, I think sometimes the fatter the brush, the better, really. I don't know whether this is the right. It might be not quite deep enough. Let's have a go. Let's have a test over there. I think it's still a bit light. Let's see if I get it a little bit darker, and then suddenly too dark. So messing with Quink. There we go. Let's try it on his paw. Oh, it's quite a dark. So just put some shadows on for his bristles, going on there, and some more bristle shadows on there, and then I'm going to put a shadow down the side of his face like that. Maybe a bit of shadow underneath his body, and I'm going to put some shadow on my ribbon. There we go, and a bit more shadow on this bit of ribbon over here, and I'm going to put some shadow on this bread, slice of bread here, and on that bit there as well, and put some floor. Actually, yeah, I can just do some sort of floor shadow across here, nice and blobby. So that's a bit of shadow on scrubbing brush. I think that's probably, hopefully that's all we need for the moment. Now I'm going to put some colour on. I think I'm going to go from the lightest colours to the darkest colours. So lightest colours, I reckon, are the bristles, scrubbing brush's bristles, that are like his legs. So I use a light brownish yellowy colour for that, straw kind of colour. And the colours I've got, I use these watercolour, radiant watercolours, which are amazing for mixing up bright colours, but they do fade in sunlight. So, but anyway, so let's make some sort of straw type of colour for the bristles, and slightly darker straw colour as well, if that is a darker straw colour. See if that works. Maybe I go over it again in a minute. And the top of the sandwich is going to be quite a light colour as well, up here. So I guess it's white bread. And then the side of scrubbing brush is going to be a darker brown. So I think I'll go in with this. I think I'm trying to work out what kind of. So let's go lighter on top. There we go, and then maybe darker, just underneath. The scrubbing brushes, brown colour, and oh, nearly forgot. I keep forgetting his tail. A bit of tail there. Now the sandwich filling. I think we need something salady, something ham salad, and I think I've got these coloured pencils, and I'm going to just do a sort of salady type of colours with coloured pencils. So we could do a bit of maybe lettucey stuff at the bottom, maybe some green for lettuce, and some yellow on top to make it extra full of vitamins, and then some tomato. Did I have a tomatoey? So a bit of tomato colour there, and some hammy colour, kind of up here maybe. And then I've got a pencil here, a pen that might. These are watercolour pencils, so if you put water on them, they'll sort of merge together. So I'm just going to merge it a little bit there. But that was a sort of fast way of making some sandwich colours. Meanwhile, I think we've got a big red ribbon to do here. So I'm going to put in some, so I've got some, hopefully some bright red there, and I'm going to hope that because I put some shadow on it earlier that I can just do the whole thing in really bright red. That's the underside of the ribbon. There. And then the bow bit. Now I'm going to put, I'm doing it the way I made the pictures in Traction Man Meets TurboDog, which was putting on the ink last. And I used, for these pictures, I used a quite scratchy, dippy pen for quite a scratchy line. So this is waterproof style ink, and with your scratchy pen you can do like big blobby lines or thin sort of lines as well. So I can make them thin or I can make them fat. And I'm going to put some lines on scrubbing brush. Yeah, I don't know if I recommend this because this is obviously I've now painted this and now it could all go horribly wrong. So it's but it's exciting way of doing it. So here's a bit of line on the edge of the ribbon there, and a bit of line under. My pen's actually working, and I'm going to put in scrubbing brush's eye, and just a bit more on his eye there, a little bit on the mouth. There we go, and then I'm going to go round. There's a bit of the sandwich across here, and then round the edge of scrubbing brush's body, and then his tail, and then along the edge of his body there. There we go, nice and blobby, and his nose, and then a few lines on his bristles, maybe some thin ones and some thick ones, just suggest all the different bristles. And his front bristles, they're like his front legs. There we go. And sometimes he has sort of little there's bits on the end of his bristles there. Now we need a bit of sandwich. There's a bit of the edge of the sandwich, the edge of the filling going on there. A bit more maybe over here, a bit more on the filling. Inky fingers. And then I'm going to try and draw a bow in a knot. So let's start with the knot here on the bow, and then which bit went front and which went at the back. So I think this bit's going to come in the front, and this is a bit more of the front, and that's the bit of the back. Okay, so the bow, and which way around's this one? Or maybe that's the front. So my ink is on, and I haven't made a huge blob, which I feel like I should have made a huge blob, but anyway, never mind. So I just want to put it all together a little bit with a little bit of coloured pencil. Let's put in some like sort of highlighty bits on some bits on the ribbon to make it just sort of come forward a bit. There's some sort of yellow on the ribbon there, and I'm going to put some lightness in some of the bristles on scrubbing brush there, and I can put some more extra lines on his back, just accentuate his woodiness again. And I can put a bit of, don't know, I think I'm not quite sure what he's walking on, so I'll just do some random shadow at the bottom there. And now I think scrubbing brush carrying lunch is done.